Welcome back to Arsenal News TV, and today we are going to look at the 4 latest Arsenal news. The first Arsenal news is that Football Transfers has confirmed an Arsenal update, as they confirm £40 million player really wants to join Arsenal. He's even faster than Cody Gakpo, as Arsenal look to complete the signing of World Cup Ghana international and AFC Ajax attacker Mohammed Kudus. Arsenal's transfer window isn't over yet. The Gunners may have already spent around £200 million on new players, but it looks as though they may still have one trick up their sleeve. Indeed, links to Mohammed Kudus aren't slowing down, and now, according to Football Transfers, the player himself is open to the transfer. The Ghanaian is reportedly being courted by both Chelsea and Arsenal, but according to this report, Kudus would much rather join Arsenal. In all honesty, it's not hard to understand why Kudus would rather join the Gunners than the Blues. Arsenal's project is one of the most exciting in Europe, especially when you're a young player who can play in multiple positions. The £40 million man certainly fits that bill. Capable of playing in the midfield and anywhere across the attack, Kudus is perfect for Mikel Arteta's system. On top of that, he also fits into Arsenal's speedy attacking style. Kudus is one of the quicker players in Europe according to the Speeds database. In fact, he's even clocked a higher top speed than Cody Gakpo, who, as we all know, is no slouch. Unfortunately for Arsenal, this won't be an easy deal to do. Chelsea are said to be more advanced in negotiations with Ajax on this deal, but if the player had the chance to choose between these two clubs, he would opt for a move to the Emirates rather than Stamford Bridge. Sadly, we've been here before. Mykhailo Mudryk made no secret of the fact that he wanted to join Arsenal in January, but after Chelsea presented a massive offer to Shakhtar Donetsk, he had no choice but to head to West London rather than North London. One thing is for sure, Kudus is certainly a player to keep an eye on. The second Arsenal news is that Croatian publication Index has confirmed an Arsenal update, as they confirm Arsenal face fresh battle as rivals make £15 million bid for world-class talent, as Arsenal look to complete the signing of World Cup Croatia international and Dinamo Zagreb's Josip Sutalo. Premier League duo Arsenal and Fulham remain in contention for Dinamo Zagreb's Croatia international Josip Sutalo, with Ajax starting the bidding at £15 million. Marco Silva's Fulham, according to reports in Italy, are one of a number of clubs chasing Josip Sutalo this summer, alongside Napoli, RB Leipzig, Arsenal and, of course, Ajax. Ironically enough, however, it could be Fulham's pursuit of another talented young centre-half which paves the way for Sutalo to end up at the Johan Cruyff Arena instead. The Cottagers have agreed a deal with Ajax for Calvin Bassey, the former Rangers starlet set to undergo a medical in West London. And while Sutalo would not be a like-for-like replacement for Bassey, he is a right-sided rather than left-sided centre-half. Ajax's £18 million windfall should free up funds for Sutalo to become a marquee addition for a side looking to snatch the Eredivisie title back from old rivals Feyenoord. Ajax, according to Croatian publication Index, have made an opening bid of £15 million, plus bonuses, for Sutalo. Dinamo Zagreb want closer to £23 million. And there is a belief that, if Ajax cannot afford to bring the 23-year-old to the Dutch capital, someone else will. Fulham, after bringing in Bassey, could turn their attention to a right-sided centre-half, one capable of replacing contract rebel Dosin Adarabio. The chances of Arsenal making a move, meanwhile, may depend on what sort of a role Mikel Arteta is envisaging for new recruit Jurriën Timber. The former Ajax ace is versatile and technically gifted, and may have been brought in as a right-back rather than a right-sided centre-half. As for Napoli, Sutalo, tipped to become world-class in the near future, may be tasked with stepping into Kim Min-jae's shoes. The South Korean Colossus joined Bayern Munich earlier this month. The good news for Dinamo Zagreb, then, is that Ajax's opening offer could spark a bidding war, thus driving up Sutalo's price considerably. Josip Sutalo is somehow always at the exit door, Dinamo Zagreb boss Igor Biskin tells Sportsk Novosti. Since I arrived at Dinamo, especially the last 4 or 5 games, he has made a very serious shift. He really looks very, very good. Dominant, the departure of Josip will be a great loss. we will hardly be able to find a player who will be able to replace him to some extent. The third Arsenal news is that Charles Watts has confirmed an Arsenal update, as he confirms Arsenal would absolutely want £55 million Barcelona ace, as Arsenal look to complete the signing of World Cup Brazil international and Barcelona attacker Raphinha. Arsenal would certainly be interested in signing Barcelona winger Raphinha this summer if he became available. Barcelona winger Raphinha remains on Arsenal's transfer radar as they consider signing another wide man, that is according to Arsenal. Reporter Charles Watts, who has been speaking to Team Talk about Raphinha, Watts claims that Arsenal would absolutely want to sign Raphinha if Barcelona showed a desire to sell. Watts does though doubt that Barcelona will let the Brazilian go. Believing that he can make a big impact moving forward, the Brazilian only joined Barcelona last summer and it would be bold of Barca to let him go right now. Barcelona's financial situation still isn't great though, and that may mean that a big money sale like Raphinha could still materialise. Watts notes that Raphinha would be a perfect signing for Arsenal and it's seemingly one that Edu would like to make. Arsenal would absolutely be interested in him if he was on the market, said Watts. I just don't think Barcelona are going to let him go this summer. They still very much believe that Raphinha can make a big impact for them. So I don't think they're going to consider letting him go, and I think he very much wants to stay at Barcelona. But I think it'd be an absolutely perfect signing for Arsenal, signing someone to cover for soccer and provide competition. He added, cast your minds back just over a year and Arsenal were keen to snap up Raphinha from Leeds United. Fabrizio Romano suggested that Raphinha had become an obsession for Arsenal and technical director Edu. Raphinha had been superb for Leeds, racking up 17 goals and 12 assists in 67 appearances for the Whites. Barcelona ended up winning the race, striking a deal worth around £55 million for the former Rennes ace. Arsenal have remained interested though, and Sky Sports claimed in January that the Gunners made contact to sign Raphinha after missing out on Mykhailo Mudryk to Chelsea. Sky Sports reporter Domesh Sheth suggested earlier this month that Arsenal would like to add another right-sided winger this summer. Bukayo Saka needs some cover and competition, with Raphinha possibly the dream signing. It's hard to see Raphinha settling for that kind of role though, and whilst Edu will have one eye on his Barcelona situation, a move to Arsenal this summer looks unlikely. The final Arsenal news is that Fabrizio Romano has confirmed an Arsenal update, as he confirms potentially disappointing transfer update for Arsenal fans, as Arsenal look to complete the signing of Brazil international and Grêmio midfielder Bitello. Arsenal fans may be disappointed to hear Fabrizio Romano's latest update on their Brazilian transfer target Bitello. Reports had suggested that Arsenal were closing in on the signing and a deal could be completed this week. However, Romano shared, via Court Offside, that he doesn't think things are as advanced as others have suggested. Romano said, I'm aware that there have been reports claiming a deal is close for Arsenal to sign Bitello from Grêmio this week. But I'm not sure things are as advanced as others have suggested. This of course will not be the news Gunners fans will want to receive. 23-year-old Bitello is someone that Arsenal scouts are fond of, but Romano says there's not been a bid just yet. Arsenal's approach to scouting Brazil has definitely improved since Edu joined as the club's sporting director. Gabriel Martinelli has been a huge success since arriving, and winger Marquinhos is also showing a lot of promise too. Fans would be right in thinking Bitello could be another smart signing, despite his name not being widely known across Europe. The exact role Bitello would play in Arsenal's squad would remain to be seen. Bitello presents a very versatile option with plenty of games across defensive and attacking midfield positions for his club Grêmio, and with a reported price of around £6.9 million, the transfer seems like a low-risk move for the Gunners, with a potentially big upside. Romano's update comes at a time when Arsenal are said to be focusing on departures before any more players arrive at the club. One of those expected departures, Folarin Balogun, is now training away from the squad on their US tour. The striker looked to respond to the decision on Twitter, but we're still no closer to an outcome there it seems. Rob Holding has been linked with a move. A £2 million bid was rejected from Besiktas. Nuno Tavares has been linked with a move to West Ham. Cedric Soares has a ton of suitors. The list goes on, and whilst Romano's update may suggest a slower timeline for any Bitello deal, it would make sense if Arsenal targeted sales first. Bitello's profile looks very beneficiary for Arteta's plans this season, especially in replacing Granit Xhaka, and fans will hope a deal does transpire. It's a summer of a lot of moving pieces for Arsenal, and they'll be hoping Bitello is one that's incoming. Do you know the Arsenal news on Mohammed Kudus? You will enjoy this video on your screen too.